session. Hi everyone, Salesforce Admin Training Day 3. Now, today what are we going to learn? We'll talk about the quick overview of the previous session, and then we'll talk about the list view. What are the list view? And in that list view, we have a standard list view versus custom list view. What is the differences in the standard list view and the custom list view? And also we will see what is the standard list view, lightning list view versus classic list view. What is the difference between the lightning and classic? How to create a custom list view, how to clone the existing list view, how to rename the existing list view, what are the custom list view visibility, and list view controls, edit list filters. What is the filters? How can we put the filters? And then we will discuss about the list view control, select fields to display, and then list view controllers, delete. And then we'll have a assignment, today's interview questions, and the trackhead links. If time permits, then we will talk about the applications. Now, what did we learn last class? What did we discuss in the last class?
Releases.
Release different kind of additions, types of additions.
Objects ID.
Object ID, record ID.
Right. So the last one is, so we have discussed about the Salesforce releases, instances, status, multi-tenant, and what are the benefits of the multi-tenant? What are the different additions in the Salesforce? And we discussed about the object ID, record ID, and
Paid
also
edition,
discussed about the paid version, and then free version. What are the different versions? Right. So today we will talk about the list view. What is this list view? What is about list view? Now, list view is nothing but let's take a scenario. List view. List view is nothing but basically the word it says list. That means in order to display the collection of data, which is a same format. For example, let's take a scenario. We have a bank organization. In the bank organization, assume that we have a loan table. There is a loan table. Now, in this loan table, there are different type of loans are there. There are different type of loans. One is personal loan. One is home loan. Other one is a property loan. Like this, there are different type of loans are there. Now, in this loan table, I have an object called loan table. In this loan table, now I just wanted to see what are the personal loans are available in this loan table. Whenever we open any object, for example, if I open this account object, what I can see this data, right? So that means if I open this loan table, I can simply see some data. But assume that I'm able to see the personal loan here, I'm able to see the home loan here, I'm able to see the property loan. That means all the details I'm able to see here, but I do not want to see like that. I do not want to see like that. So what I need to have is some kind of a visibility, user interface, some kind of a user interface which talks about the, okay, so select only the personal loan. Now, if you wanted to display only the personal loan, then I can select here personal loan. I can select personal loan. When I select a personal loan, what should happen at the bottom? It should display all the records which are related to the personal loan. It should display all the records which are related to the personal loan. Now, if I select a home loan, it should display all the data which is related to the home loan. If I select a property, it should display only the property related loan, only the property related loan. Only that loan we have to show. So basically, this is going to give me that I have it some 10,000 records. I have it 10,000 records. Out of the 10,000 records, I wanted to sort out the how many are personal loan, how many are personal loan, how many are home loan, how many are property loan, how many are property loan. If I wanted to divide and see the data here, I wanted to divide and then I wanted to see the data. In order to do that, we have to create a separate option in the here. So initially it is a personal loan. Now I wanted to see only the home loan. So I need to create another option which is here it says home loan. Here it says home loan. If I click on a home loan, so what should happen below? All the related to the home loan, it should display the data. All the related to the home loan, it should display the data. If I say property loan, all the property related information should display. All the property information, it should display. Right? So basically, if you want a personal loan, if I wanted to see only the personal data, then it should display only the personal data. For example, let me give another scenario. For example, I wanted to see there are 10,000 records are there. Out of 10,000 records, I wanted to see only the records, only the customer data whose birthday is this month. So this month birthday. Whoever is this month birthday is there, only those records I wanted to see. Only those records I wanted to see in the table. This is a user interface. So you on the user interface, user should be able to select that this month birthday. So then user should be able to see the records. Who are the customers? This month is the birthday is there, or today birthday, or next day birthday, whatever it is there. So in order to filter out, we need to create a something called which is list view. We need to create a list view. We need to create a list view. So list views are nothing but list views are created by defining what data we wanted to see in the column, and also what field should we filter out by. Now, when I say what filter is nothing but in this object, right? I have 100 fields are there. Do I wanted to show all the 100 fields here? It's not necessary that I should show all the 100 fields. I might show only the 4 fields or 6 fields I wanted to show here. Right? So we can decide what are the fields that I wanted to display. So list view is nothing but it's a created list views are created in order to know what is the data that we wanted to see, or in order to see if the user wanted to see the data, which is specific data in the column by specifying the specific field, or we can filter by using this, we can do the list view. There are two type of a list views. One is a standard list view, another one is a custom list view. There are two type of a list view. List view is two types. One is a standard list view, second one is a custom list view. Standard list view, second one is a custom list view. Take notes of it. Okay. So list views are available for every object. Available for every object, whether it is a standard object or whether it is a custom object, every object should have a list view. Now account, in the account, whatever this is there, right? So this is called as a list view. This is called list view. It is available for every object. It is available for every object. There are a default list views provided by the Salesforce. Default list views are provided by the Salesforce. Now, if you go to the account, all accounts, my accounts, new last week, new this week, platinum and gold SLA customers, recently viewed, pinned list, recently viewed accounts. Right, so these are the different list views which are provided by the Salesforce. These all are called as a standard list view. Whether you go to the account or whether you go to the product, which are the object you go, every object we have a different standard list views are there. Different standard list views are there. In products there are two. Now if I go to the opportunity, you will see there are many are there. Closed next month, closed this month, my opportunities, new last week, new this week, opportunity, pipeline, private, recently viewed opportunity, own, all opportunities, recently viewed pinned list. When I say pinned list is nothing but by default, whenever we log into the Salesforce, by default it will display the recently viewed pinned list. Recently viewed pinned list. That means if you observe here, there is a one icon is available. There is a one icon here beside the list view, this icon. Now, in case if the list view is pinned, in case if the list view is pinned, it will be, this is the, it says pinned. If it is a not pinned, then it will be like this. It is not pinned. Right, so if I go to the contact, in the contact also we have a list view. All contacts, birthday this month, bulk SMS contact, my contacts, new last week, new this week, recently viewed ping, recently viewed contacts, right? So which are the object you take, right? Which are the table you take it, every object or every table should have a some standard list views. There is a list view. This is in the Lightning. If you see in the Classic, switch to the Classic. In the Classic, if I go to the account, in the account, so here it is a view. So this is a list view. This is list view. Now similarly, for every object you will see view colon some list view. If you go to the opportunity, there are view list views are there. View all opportunities closing next month, this month, my opportunity, whatever is there, you can see here. So there are two type of a list views. One is a standard list view, second one is a custom list view. By default, standard list views are attached when your the org is created. When your the org is created, by default, there is a the standard list views are automatically it will display. Now let's see what is the differences between the standard list view versus custom list view. Standard list view versus custom list view. Now in the list view, we have a standard list view. Standard list view is nothing but which are provided by the Salesforce, which are provided by the Salesforce, like all open leads, recently viewed, and then my contact, my lead, whatever is there. So these are provided by the Salesforce. The standard list views are provided by the Salesforce, whereas custom list views are created by either developer or an admin or internal sales team Right? So internal team will be updating the custom list view. So that means Dell and Infosys account. I wanted to create a Dell and Infosys account list view on the account. So that means internal sales team will be updating the custom list view. For example, here we have a custom standard list view. If I go to the account, now I wanted to create a new list view, which is nothing but a Dell and Infosys account. That means if I select the Dell and Infosys, only it should show me the accounts which are related to the Dell and Infosys. Take a notes of it. What is that question, Bhavya? Okay. So now let me show you the standard list view. In the standard list view, we have a one of the option is called recently viewed list view. Recently viewed list view. Now let me show you that. Let's go to the lightning. There is an option called recently viewed pinned list view. So when you select this recently viewed pinned list, this whatever the recently viewed is there, right? You cannot modify in case if you wanted to modify anything this, right? So for example, all accounts are there, all accounts. Now you wanted to change this list view name from all accounts to the all customers. So where can I change it? We have an option which is available. On the every object, there is a setting icon is there. Every object, there is a setting icon here. Now, if you wanted to rename that all account to the all customer, click on here this settings and then click on the rename. When you click on the rename, you can modify this, but you cannot change the API name. You cannot change the API name. We talk about the API name later. Now, only the label name can be changed. Only the label name. For example, I'll say here all customers. All customers. Now it is getting changed to the all the customers. But when it comes to the recently viewed field, you cannot do anything on this recently viewed list view. You cannot rename, you cannot delete this, you cannot modify it, you cannot update the sharing setting. All the options in the list views are disabled. All the options are disabled in the list view control. Now, this is the recently viewed pinned list. How about the recently viewed accounts? Now, this is also not available. Recently viewed and the recently viewed accounts and recently viewed pinned, both of them, you cannot delete or you cannot modify. No customizations are possible for these two. But you select any other which you can do it. You select any other, you can modify it. Right, but these two is not possible. So the recently viewed list view is we cannot rename it, we cannot delete it, cannot be modified, right? Show list filter or show field list, whatever it is, then you cannot modify it, cannot update the sharing settings, right? Basically, all the options are disabled in the list view controller. Apart from the all other standard, apart from this, what are the recently viewed pinned and the recently viewed object? Now, apart from this, all other standard list views has a list view controller option is enabled. That means for the recently viewed, you cannot see any of the options are enabled. Only the new list view you can create it, but you cannot edit or you cannot delete or you cannot modify. Nothing can be done on the existing recently viewed list view. Right? So if it is a all other options, like apart from the recently viewed and recently viewed pinned one, if you go to any other standard list view, you can see clone, rename, sharing settings, edit list filter, select field to display, delete. These all are options are available. These all options are available. Now, it's not only on the account. If you go to any other object, now let me go to the opportunity. In the opportunity, now if I go to the recently viewed pin, now here, if I click on this setting, nothing is displaying it. It is not displaying any data. Everything is disabled. In the list view controller, everything is disabled. Now, if you select a other recently viewed, this is a recently viewed pinned. Now, let me select the recently viewed opportunity. For this also, everything is disabled. But if I select any other, it says in all opportunities, I can see those are enabled. I can modify here. I can modify. Take a notes of it. Okay. Now let's move on. Now this is in the lightning, right? Now let's see in the classic. Now let me switch to the classic. In classic, account now you have a edit option, create a new for new this week. How about the recently viewed? Recently viewed has only created new view. There is no edit option. Edit option will be displayed for the others, right? All customers or my accounts, edit, delete, create new view is available. But when it goes to the recently viewed, I cannot edit this recently viewed accounts. Recently viewed accounts, I cannot edit. Now, let me show you the differences between the classic and lightning. Now, let me log in. This is which batch? June batch. Now let's create it. Now, remind me later. Now, this is it. Switch to lightning. And this is a classic view. Okay, in incognito, I have a classic view, right? And in here, it's a lightning. So this is a lightning. And this is a classic. Now, if I wanted to create a new list view, whether it is in the classic or whether it is in the lightning. Now let's go to the account. Now, if I wanted to create a new list view, let's assume that I wanted to create a Dell and Infosys account. Let's see. Now, what are the all customers? Now I have a few Infosys records are there. So I wanted to create a Infosys. Right, I wanted to create a Infosys records. I wanted to create a list view for that. In order to create a list view, I need to click on this gear icon and click on the new button. Click on the new button. This is in the lightning. Whereas in the classic, I have a here option. Beside the edit, I have an option create new view. So click on this create a new view. When you click on a create a new view, now in the lightning, it is just giving me the list name and the API name. List name and the API name. And then it has a where can I who all can see this list view. So the first one, which is the step one. This is a step one, and this is another step. Now this step one is here in the classic. List name, which is nothing but a view name. List API name, which is nothing but a unique name. Now, who all can see? Where can I see in the classic? In the classic at the bottom. At the bottom, it is available. So that means I have a only step one and step four. Who all can see here? It is only I can see this list view, only visible to me in the classic. All the users can see this list view. Here it is visible to all the users, right? And then share the list view with the group of the users. Here it is visible to the certain group of the users. So I have a first step and the fourth steps, both are there. How about the step 2 and step 3? How about the step 2 and step 3? Now let's go ahead and create a one list view here. Now I'm creating the Infosys list view. Infosys list view. Now my API name is automatically captured. Let's say all the users in this or everybody should be able to see this. Now click on a save. Click on save. Once I click on a save, now it is created. It is created. It is created the report. But where is this step 2 in the lightning and the step 3? I have not given the step 2 and step 3. I have not specified the step 2 and step 3. I just created the enter view name and then I have specified who all can see these reports, right? Now here specify the filter criteria. Specify step 2, specify filter criteria is changed to the edit list filter. Edit list filter. When you click on the edit list filter, this will open up. Now here I'll say that all the accounts. That is the step 2. That is the step 2 here. All the accounts are my accounts. All the accounts are my accounts. I can specify here. Click on save. In case if I wanted to add any filter here, for example, I wanted to account name, let's say starts with Infosys. Starts with Infosys and click on save. That is the step 2. And next one is just step 3. What are the fields that I wanted to show here? What are the fields that I wanted to show is the step 3. Step 3 is move to the select fields to display. Select fields to display. Now here right now I'm displaying the account name, account site, billing state, phone number, type, account owner. Now for example, I do not need a billing state here. I just need whether this account is active or not. I wanted to display this. And account owner also I do not want. Type also I do not want. Only the 4 fields I wanted to show. Click on save. So that's how the 4 fields will be displayed. That's how the 4 fields will be displayed here. So which is a step 3. So if you compare the lightning list view versus classic list view, this is the lightning, right? So this is the list view controllers. All the list view controllers are here. When you click on the gear icon, you can see all the list view controllers. And in the classic, you have an option here on the object level, create a list view. There is an option is available here, create a new view. Create a new view. Right, so if you click on that, the list view gets open. Assume that I have clicked on the new button in the lightning. When I clicked on the new button, it is open this new list view. And when I clicked on the classic create a new view, it is opened this entire page. This opened the entire page. Now here step 1 is associated with step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4. I have a 4 steps in the classic. I have a 4 steps in the classic. Step 1 is divided into the list view, and then step 2 is a filter criteria. Right here you have a filter criteria, and step 3 is divided as a select fields to display, and step 4 is restrict the visibility. Restrict the visibility. Now if you try to map this, step 1 is divided as a new list view, and then step 4 is what are the restricted visibility is there in the new list view only we have a restricted visibility. And then step 2 is move to the another button or another option here, edit list filter. Step 3 is move to the select fields to display. Select fields to display. And also step 4 is available in case if you later you wanted to modify this. How can I do that? You can modify it by clicking on the sharing settings. By clicking on the sharing settings, you can modify it. So whatever this entire one page is spread, they have divided into the smaller chunks in the lightning. Smaller chunks in the lightning. So take a notes of it. Okay, so that's all done. Now next one is create custom list view. Now in case right now we have created the custom list view. We have created the custom list view. How did we created the custom list view? We clicked on the new button, new option on the list view control. And here we have a new button. There is a new button is there. So by clicking on this new button, so opens the new list view window, opens the new list view window. And this is what we can see here. I can specify the list name. What are the list name is there? API name is automatically taken from the whatever the based on the name that we are providing here. And the next one is if there is a here list name is a space is available. If there is a space, for example, here I am giving the Infosys account. Here I am specifying here Infosys account. Infosys space account. Infosys space account. If it is a Infosys space account, if it is Infosys space account, then the API name will take it as a Infosys underscore account. Infosys underscore account. So wherever the space is there, the space will be replaced with underscore. Space is replaced with the underscore. It is replaced with the underscore. So spaces are replaced with underscore. So API names are always will have a underscore. API names does not have a space. API names does not have a space. Now here, so example list name equal to Dell account, list name equal to Dell account, and the list API equal to, it will automatically take the Dell underscore account, Dell underscore account. Now the next one we have a who see this list view, who all can see the list view. Now only I can see the list view. That means whoever is the user is created the list view, only that person can see the list view. Now the second option is all the users can see the list view. Whether it is created by any users, everybody in the organization can see the list view. That means, for example, if I take in the organization, in the Salesforce or we have a 10 users are there. There are 10 users. And out of 10 users, if one user is created the list view, if I specify the all the users, if I specify the selection of all the users, that means whether it is created by the single user, everybody in the organization can see the list view. And if I specify the third one, which is called as a shared list view with a group of users, that means out of 10 members, only 5 members I wanted to share. Out of 5 members, only out of 10 members, only 5 members I wanted to see that I wanted to show this records or show this list view. So in that case, I can create a group for those users and we can share the list view to those specific groups. Take a notes of it. Okay. So that is how we are going to create the list view. Assume that once it is created the list view, again I wanted to create another list view. Again, I wanted to create another list view. Instead of creating a new list view from the scratch, instead of creating the new list view from the scratch, now here I am selecting here one more list view. I am selecting here another list view here. Another list view. Now, if I wanted to create another list view, again I need to create it from the scratch. Or else what you can do is you can clone it. For example, I'll go to the contact. Now I wanted to exactly create a new one which is same as a birthday this month. Same as birthday this month. Now what I'll do is I'll clone. Which are the list view you wanted to clone? Which are the list view you wanted to clone? That list view, you have to select it. That means you cannot stay here, all contacts, and if you click on the clone, so what will happen? It will clone the all contacts. Or which one do we wanted to clone? We wanted to clone the birthday this month. Birthday this month we wanted to clone. Now here I am going to click on a clone. Now it is going to give me the option birthday this month. Instead of this month, what I'll do is birthday today. Whatever the today's birthdays are there, now I'll specify here today, today's birthday. Today's birthday. Now here automatically, whatever the special character is, the special characters is automatically taken the underscore and space is taken the underscore. And let's say all the users can see. Now I can clone it. Now I can clone it. Right? So here it is a giving the, but here I have a filter called this month. Because why came the this month the filter? Because we have clicked on the clone of the this month birthday. Right? So we just created the list view. But after creating the list view, I need to change the filter. I need to change the filter. So that means I need to edit this. Instead of this month, I need to specify here today. I need to specify here today. Now if I specify the today, click on done. Now click on save. Now what are the today's birthdays are there? It is going to give. So for example, let me change one of the birthday. Now let's close this. Let me add. Now let's go to the Ajay. Let's change the detail section. Here we have one of the field called birthday. And let's select the today is the birthday. Click on save. Now if I go to the contacts, in the contact, if I select the today's birthday, it is going to show me the Ajay report because Ajay is the one which the birthday is there for today. Right? So like that, I can clone the existing list view. I can clone the existing list view. So clone is nothing but I'm copying the existing list view. I'm copying the existing list view. And then that means here we are clicking on the clone button. When I click on a clone button, it will open up this clone list view. And here you need to modify the list name. Because by default, it will take the existing list view name. By default, it will take the existing list view name, which is a copy of Dell and Infosys account. So what we need to do is we need to delete this copy of. We need to delete the copy of because it is copying the existing one. So delete the first part of it. Delete the first part of it. And also you need to delete this entire API name. Right, so delete this and hit enter here. When you hit enter here, automatically it will take the new list name. So you need to delete the list API name and update the list name here and click on the enter. Automatically it will take the new, whatever the new list name is there, it will take that. And then list API name. List API name is automatically populated based on the list name. And here you can specify who all can see the list view. Perfect. Once this is done, once you have cloned it, for example, let's say that you have cloned and you have created. By mistakenly, you have given here a wrong name. Name is incorrect. Name is incorrect. Let's assume that today's birthday is there. Today's birthday is there. Let's assume that it is a let's say it is a birthday of, let's say that list of birthday. Instead of today's birthday, let's say it is a list of birthday. Or by mistakenly you wanted to modify the list name. So something you have by mistakenly created some name. It's not supposed to be that name. In that case, what we will do, we can rename the existing list view. We can rename the existing list view. We will go to the rename existing list view, take a notes of clone existing list view. Okay. So rename existing list view. For renaming the existing list view, what you need to do is you need to click on this option here. There is a rename option. Rename list view controllers. Now click on this rename. So there is a rename list view option will be displayed. So only the list name you need to be editable. Only you can edit the list name. You cannot edit the API name. Once it is created, you cannot modify the API name. It's a grayed out. You cannot change anything. For example, I am clicking on here, setup rename. Can I modify this? I cannot modify this. It is telling me that it's not allowed. I'm entering here, but I cannot change anything, right? Now, instead of this, I'll specify here today's birthday. Or today birthday. Click on save. Click on save. It is changing the today birthday, right? So here, if I click on again rename, did it change the API name? It did not change the API name. It did not change the API name. API name does not change when you do the rename. Only for the first time, you have a flexibility to edit the API name. But once it is created, you cannot, whenever we are clicking on the rename option, you cannot edit that option. You cannot edit that option. Right? Then you have it, you can just update the list name. Whatever the name that you wanted, you can update the list name. The list API name does not change it. It is grayed out. Take a notes of it. Now the next one is visibility of the custom list view. Visibility of the custom list view. Let's assume that I have created the list view. I have created the list view. While creating the list view, I have specified all the users can see the list view. That means everybody can see the list view here. Everybody can see the list view. For example, I wanted to restrict the visibility of the list view. If I wanted to restrict the visibility of the list view, then we have to click on sharing settings. We have to click on the sharing settings. We have to click on the sharing settings. So once we click on the sharing settings, what will happen? It will open up the same screen, sharing settings screen. Whether do you want to change or not? Do you want to change or not? Right. So here, what we can do is we can select the option based on the whatever the user wants to do. Right. And the next one is a edit list filter. There is one more option which is called as a edit list filter, which is the next one is edit list filter. Now we have seen how to create a list view. We have seen cloning the list view. We have seen rename the list view. We have seen sharing settings. Now the next one is a edit list filter. When I click on a edit list filter in the list view controller, right? So here, basically, I'm applying the filter. I'm applying the filter. Which records do I wanted to see? Which records do I wanted to see? Right? And fields to represent the type of data that is stored in the object. So there are two type of fields. So these are the records are available. Now basically here, if I go and click on this, so today's birthday is there. Now if I click on this edit list filter, it says that all accounts birthday equal to today's birthday. If I change anything here, if I add a few more filter, right? Here I can add a filter by the fields, by selecting the fields. Either I can select the standard field or I can select the custom field. Any field I can select it here. Any field I can select. So based on this field selection, for example, I wanted to see here, which we have already selected the birthday equal to today. So what are the birthday equal to today is there only those records I wanted to see. Now birth date is the field in the contact object. It is a field in the object. So what is the field here? Field is basically it represents the type of data that is stored in the object. Field is nothing but type of data that is stored in the object. Now, in the first name, I can store the string. In the last name, I can store the string data. Address, I can store the string data. City, I can store the string data. Age, I can store the number or a string. Whichever is client is asking, you can store either integer or a string. Either integer or a string. It is up to the client. Now there are two type of fields are there, standard fields and then custom fields. So standard fields are name, phone, mobile, rating, stage, whatever we have seen so far in the consulting. Now those are the standard fields. Custom fields, we are yet to discuss the custom fields. Now take a notes of it. Okay. So in the edit list filter, so if I click on the edit filter, now it is going to give me the field name, operator, value. Field name, operator, and the value. Now here this is the actual filter. Now in this filter, you can add in multiple filter conditions. You can add in multiple filter. Now in this case, I have a filters are applied based on the field name. Like a field by owner by default by owner. Filter by owner is a by default, it is displayed by the Salesforce. You cannot edit this filter. Filter by owner is by default, Salesforce is getting updated. It is getting updated by the Salesforce. Now here if I click on this, it is by default, the Salesforce is going to show either my contacts or all contacts. Right, but you cannot change this filter by owner to the something else. Now here I can change it birthday to the different field, but here you cannot change the field. Owner to any other field, you cannot change it. You cannot change it. So that is the default Salesforce is providing it, and the custom filters are at the bottom. Custom filters are at the bottom, which is says matching these filters. Now here you can apply what are the field name, operator, value, which are the one you wanted, you can apply. For example, field name, what are the operator and then value. That means here I can click on the add filter option. When I click on the add filter, it will open up the filter and there I can specify the account name contains Infosys. Account name contains Infosys or else birth date equal to today. Right? So we have a different operators are available. So by clicking on this add filter, I can add a filter. In case if you wanted to remove the filter, you can remove all the filters. You can remove all the filters. Now the filter logic, the bottom we have a filter logic. In this filter logic, you can add either and condition or a or condition, or like if you have a multiple filters are there. In that case, you can specify 1 and 2, 1 or 2, or 1 and 2 or 3. So this is when you have a 2 filters, then you can specify 1 and 2 or 1 or 2. If you have a 3 of them, if you have a 3 filters, then in that case, it's up to the client how which records they wanted to see. So this is given by the client. This is given by the client. Now 1 and 2. So that means 1 and 2 should be must there or 3 or 3. Now here if I say here right now add filter logic. What is the add filter logic? I just have a only one. Now if I'm going to add one more, let's say birth date. Let's go down birth date equals to, now let's say this month. I'm going to say this month. Click on done. Or else you can take another one. Let me add another one. Let's say we have a rating. Rating equal to, now you can select one. Click on done. Now here I can add one or two. One or two. Either matching with the first condition or matching with the second condition. Click on save. Now it is going to display the today's date of birth as well as the wherever the rating is a warm, all the records it is going to display. Like this, you can add a logic. If you have a three filters are there, then you can add a 1 and 2 or a 3 or 1 or 2 or 3. It's up to the how you wanted to apply the logic. It is a simple logic, straightforward mathematical logic, right? So exactly what we have seen in the mathematical, like a 1 or 2, 1 and 2, 1 or 2 or 3, which are the one. So when you have a more than 3, now it will check first condition. It will check first condition. First it is going to check this condition. If 1 and 2 is true, then it will keep true. Or if it is a 3 is also true, then what will happen? Both the records it will display. Both the records it will display. If it is a 1 and 2 is a false, the condition does not meet. Only the 3 is a true, then it is going to display that record. Either of 1 is true, then it is going to display the records. Take a notes of it. Okay, so the next one is here all. Now, in case if I wanted to delete the list view, next one is no, sorry, next one is a select fields to display. Select fields to display. Now here, after the filter is done, now I wanted to know what are the fields to be displayed here. It is displaying here title, phone, email, contact owner. I do not want these fields to be displayed here. So in that case, what we can do is we can select the option which is called as a select fields to display. When we click on a select fields to display, now what will happen, which fields you wanted to display on the list view. Now in the available fields, it is going to display all the fields that are available in the object. It is going to display all the fields that are available in the object. Whereas visible fields are nothing but the one which we wanted to see, the one which user want to see the data. Only those fields will be available. So in the visible fields, what are the fields or what is the data that user wanted to see in the records? Only that fields will be there. Right? Also, I can move it from here to here, available fields to fields. And then we have a options here, which is called as a up arrow and down arrow, which is nothing but now this is moving from available to the visible, and from the visible I can take out from by clicking on this remove option. Now also I can arrange the order by selecting these options. By selecting these options, I can arrange the order. Now, first I wanted to display the account name. Next, I wanted to display the email. So whatever the order is that, we can use that order and click on save. Now, let's suppose for this, I wanted to display the select fields to display. Now, let's say I wanted to choose the birth date. Birth date, I wanted to push it here. Let's display the birth date on top. Account name, I do not need a name again. Now this is a name which I needed. This is a contact name, account name, birth date, title. I do not need phone, email, account owner. I do not need it. So click on it, save. Now it is going to show me these options. Now I wanted to add a rating also. Select the fields to display. Now let's say rating. Now let's go down. Account rating, let's move on. Now let's display before the phone, click on save. Right, so these all are, it is displaying it. Right, that's how we can change it and we can update it. We can update the fields, what are the fields we need to display, we can change them. So take a notes of it. Now the next one is delete option. In case if you wanted to delete any list view, you can click on this delete, right? So, and then it is going to display if you wanted to delete this list view, it will be permanently removed from all users with access. Are you sure you wanted to delete? If you say delete, it will be deleted from the org. Now, when we are deleting the list view, it will not delete the records. It will delete only the list view. It will only delete the list view. But you cannot delete the recently viewed list views. You cannot delete the recently viewed list views. Other than this, you can delete all other list views. You can delete it. Now, assignments, create a list view on the contact. Create a list view on the contact. Now, list view name is contact title. This is a contact title. Contact title. And the filter is, you can say, field title equal contains to VP. Now, if you go here, you have an option which is called as a title. It's opening the Harsham. Details. Now type is, now we have a field called which is title. Now in the title, you can add anything. Now which are the title is VP? Which are the title is VP? Only those details you wanted to display in the list view. Only those details you wanted to display in the list view. So here it is a contact title. And the field title contains VP, only display those names. Only display those names. Those records. And sharing setting visible to all the users. Visible to all the users. Now create a list view on the opportunity. List view name is closed lost opportunity. Filter is stage equal to close lost. Visible only I can see. Only I can see. Only I can see. Take a notes of it, assignments. Okay. So let's move on. Next assignment is on account. Clone the existing all accounts list view. Clone the existing all the account list view. And the list view name is direct customer. List view name is direct customer. Field is a type equal to customer direct. There is a type field is there. So wherever the type field is equal to customer direct, so those are the direct customer. And we need to display the fields on this list view table. Account name, account number, type, industry, rating. And it should be visible to the all the users. And it should be visible to the all the users. Now on account. Second one on account, rename the list view name from all customers to all accounts to all customers. From all accounts to all customers. So this is the another assignment. Take a notes of it. Okay. So next we will move on to the next topic is applications. Applications. What is this applications? Why do we need a applications? Why do we need a applications? Now, by default, Salesforce is providing few applications, right? Sales application, service application, marketing application, right? So if I go here, click on the view, if I click on the app launcher, now I can see all the apps are available. These all are applications. Service application, marketing application, community application, right? Content application, sales console application. These are the applications are available. Let's assume that in the real time, we got a requirement from the banking application, from the banking organization. Let's assume that we have received a requirement for the bank. Let's assume insurance. They wanted to implement an application for a insurance. They wanted to implement an application for insurance. In that case, do I have an application already which is related to the insurance? I don't have an application, right? So anytime in the real time, if we are building a end-to-end functionality, end-to-end functionality has to be there within one application, either one application or two applications. But one application should have at least half of the functionality should be there, right? Half of the functionality should be there. Now here, insurance application. If I wanted to implement an insurance application, that means that application should give end-to-end functionality to the end user. End-to-end functionality to the end user. First of all, applications are, there are two types of application. One is a standard application, second one is a custom application. One is standard application and the second one is custom application. Standard application is nothing but the one the Salesforce is providing is called as a standard application. These all are standard application. Now let's assume that we wanted to implement our own application. So that means developer or admin, whoever is creating, those are called as a custom application. Custom application. Let's assume that we got a requirement for the insurance application. When we got a requirement for the insurance application, that means we need to build the application, at least end to end some basic functionality we need to implement. Basic functionality, when I say basic functionality, insurance application, the bank branches will have in multiple places. I have a branch in Madhapur, I have a branch in the Amirpet, branch in the Secunderabad, different places I have a branch. That means we should have a some object that will store about the branch details. That will store about the branch details. That means I need to create a custom object to store the branch details. To store the branch details. So that means I will be creating the branch object. Similarly, in the insurance company, there are different employees will be working on it. There are multiple employees. In each branch, there are multiple employees are there. Right? They are taking care of all the different activities. Now, whoever is the employees working in the insurance company, whoever is the employees working in the insurance company, all the employees details I wanted to store it into the application. Because if somebody goes here and click on this, I wanted to know who all are the employees are there in this insurance. Now, if they click on the employee, it should give the employee list. That means I need to have an object to store the employee details. I need to have an object to store the employee details. Similarly, there are in the bank, we have agents. We have agents who are especially involved in the different marketing activities and either marketing or they are sending different agents are there. They will be doing the different activities. So they are especially recruited for to do the certain activities. They are only dealing the customers. So they are the agent. So in order to store, they are not the employees. That means they are not sitting in the insurance company. They are outside of the insurance company, but working is for the agent, for the insurance company. So those are the different, they are does not come as an employee. They are as a agents. They are agents. Right. So for in order to store who all are the agents are there for this insurance application, I need to store it into the separate object, all the agent information. All the agent information, I need to store it. Now the next one is, I have a policy information. We have a different policies. We have different policies in the insurance. Now whoever is, whether it is a customer, whether it is an employee, they should be knowing the policy details of the insurance company. All the policies we will be storing into the one object. And similarly, the customers are coming to get the insurance, or whoever is the customers are there, all the customer data I wanted to store it in one table. That means I need a customer object in order to store the customer data. Similarly, let's assume that there is a person met with accident. Person met with accident, and now that person want to apply a insurance, or the person wanted to apply the insurance. Now there are different type of insurance are there. There are different type of inpatient insurance or a outpatient insurance. There are different type of insurances are there. So those all details I can store it into the claim object. I can store all the claims related. I can store it into the claim object. Now that means we have to create a multiple custom objects. By default, Salesforce is opening new objects into the organization. But if you feel that any of this fulfill with the standard object, you can use the standard object. For example, employee object, if you want to replace with the contact object. Employee object, if you wanted to replace with the contact object, if you think that it will fulfill our requirement, you can change it. For example, I have a customer object here. Instead of a customer or creating the new customer object, if I can take the account, if I take the account and I can create all the customer records on the account, if you think that it is going to fulfill the requirement, you can definitely use the account object. But if it is not fulfilling the requirement, then we have to end up with creating the new object, right? So this is, we are creating the objects at the back end. These are the objects which are created at the back end. But when the user open up the application, how can the user can see all these objects? That means there is some user interface should be there. User interface should be there. There should be a user interface should be there. That means whoever is logging into the insurance application, they should know that where should they go, right? In order to know this user interface, where is the tabs or where is the navigation items, how to keep it the navigation items, right? All those information, if I wanted to show the user, that means we need to create a object branches. We need to create a object which is called as a branches. Similarly, for employee object, I need to create a employees tab or an employees navigation item, so that user can see here employees navigation item. Similarly, for agent object, we have to create a tab or a navigation item which is called as a agents. This is called as a agents, so that user can see, or whoever is opening this application, they can see here the tab or a navigation item which is called as a agent. Similarly, for the policy object, we have to create a tab or a navigation item which is called as a policies. For custom object, we need to create a tab or navigation items which is called as a customers. Similarly, claim objects, we need to create a tab which is called as a claims. Tab which is called as a claims. Right. So we are creating the tabs or a navigation item. Why we are creating it? If I create a navigation item, if I create a tabs, then only it will be available on the application so that user can start working on these objects. Start utilizing those objects. If I create a simply objects in the object manager, it does not help. This is we are creating for the backend purpose, but if I wanted to show on the application, we need to create a tabs. We need to create a tabs or navigation items We should be creating the navigation item. Then only the user can see what are the tabs or what are the navigation items are available. Everything we can see. Everything we can see here. Right? So whatever the tabs or whatever the navigation items we are creating is nothing but a application. Application is nothing but a group of tabs, group of navigation items, which is called as a application, or set of tab is called as a application. Set of tab is called as a application, or various user interface options. Various user interface option. By using these interface options, user can click on the tab or navigation item in order to perform certain activities, which is called as a application. Taking notes of it. Okay. The next one, let's see the definition. Application contains the set of tabs which provides the various user interface to be used to manage the application or an organization or a business specific data. Business specific data, which is called as a application. Applications are two types, standard application and the custom application. We can observe it. Now, let's see the standard application. Standard applications are, what is the standard applications? These are the ready-made applications provided by Salesforce by default. These are the ready-made applications provided by Salesforce by default. Example, sales application, service application, marketing application, right? Service console application, lightning usage application, Bolt solution application, communities application, Salesforce charter application. These are the different applications. By default, it is provided by the Salesforce. Now, couple of notes here. For standard application can be customized. We can customize the standard application. It is a ready-made application, but we can customize it. Admin or a developer can add or modify the standard application by adding the additional enhancement, but we cannot remove the standard application from the organization. You can customize it, developer can customize it, admin can customize it, right? They can add an additional enhancement, they can make a changes to it, but we cannot delete the standard application from the organization. Take a notes of it. Done? Okay. So let's move on. Next one is a custom application. Custom applications are created by the admin or a developer. Admin or developer will create a custom application in order based on the business requirement. Based on the business requirement, the developer or a admin will create a custom application. Let's take an example: banking application, finance application, healthcare application, insurance application, e-commerce, automobile, whatever the applications are there, they will create those applications. Now, custom applications can be customizable, created. Admin or a developer can add a new features into the custom application, and also we can delete the custom applications from the organization. Also, we can delete it from the organization. Take a notes of it. Okay. So as it is a multi-tenant architecture, we have a few governor limits. Now, as I have explained previously, we have to create a custom objects. In the application, we have to create a application. So for example, let's say that I wanted to create a banking application, I wanted to create an insurance application, I wanted to create a finance application, commerce application, automobile application, so many applications I wanted to create it. So which is not possible. There is a limitation because it is a multi-tenant architecture. So we have a few corner limits. In free editions, we can create maximum 10 custom applications. Maximum 10 custom application. If it is a unlimited, there is no limit on that. We can create multiple custom applications. Multiple custom applications. So in the developer edition, the free developer edition, we can create maximum of 10 custom applications. If it is unlimited, there is no limit on that. So that's all for today. Now let's go with the interview questions. What is list view? What are the different type of list views? What are the different type of list views? What is standard list view? What is custom list view? What is custom list view? What is custom list view? Who will be creating the standard list view? Who will be creating the custom list view? examples for standard list view. Examples for custom list view. Now observe this in the list view. In Lightning, we have it. If I go to the opportunity, now it has recently viewed pin. Recently viewed pin. Let's go to the product. So it has a product recently viewed pin is there. Right? This you cannot see it in the classic. Now here I have it to list views. Now if I switch to the classic, in the classic, you cannot see. Let's go to the product. Now let's go to the products. Now in the products, now you cannot see the another one recently viewed list. What are the pinned one is the recently viewed pinned view. Recently viewed list view that you cannot see here. What are the pinned option is there, that list view we cannot see. Only we can see in the Lightning. Can line delete the recently viewed list view. What are the navigation steps to create? What are the navigation steps to create list view? In Lightning. What are the navigation steps to create in Classic? How to clone the existing list view? Can client modify the list API name? How to rename the existing list view name? Can client modify the list view name? Right? How to restrict? How to restrict visibility of the list view? How to restrict the visibility of the list view? What is edit list filter? What is the navigation steps? Add the new list view. New filter. What is filter logic? Where can admin see the filter logic? How to select the fields that client want to see on the record, on the list of the records, or on the table. How to select the fields that client wants to display or see the data. Can admin team delete the list view for recently viewed list view? What is application? What are the different type of applications? What are the different type of applications? What is standard application? What is custom application? Examples for custom applications. Examples for standard application. What are the governor limits? On application creation? Why do we have? Why does Salesforce has governor limits? What is the differences between lightning and classic? For list view? Can admin delete the standard application? From organization? So it's depending on when to use the lightning, when to use the classic. It's all depending on the developer. Right? You can implement same thing in the classic, you can implement same thing in the lightning. There is no difference. If you are comfortable with the lightning, you can always use the lightning. If you are comfortable with classic, you can use the classic. And then I'm giving the trial head links. So practice that trial handlings. That's all for today.